Hello everyone, my name is Antazil and today we'll be playing as Poland. Fascinating country, Poland, especially since the No Step Back DLC with a lot of new options. Now the meta or most played way of playing Poland is of course to build up, give Danzig to the Germans because, well, you can't fight two enemies at once, go after the Soviet first and then take out the Germans. Now, a while back I did a video on the Habsburg path, where you essentially get Czechoslovakia for free quite early on, and then take out the Germans before the Soviets come knocking. That's probably still possible, but a little bit more difficult. That's not what this video is about. There are also a lot of videos about the secret Romanov path of Anastasia Romanov, and basically the only way to play her is to get really big, cede Danzig to the Germans because you want to take out the Soviets first and then take revenge on the Germans. Now, what I call the ultimate way of playing Poland is, of course, never to cede anything. No step back, but then for Poland. And I'm going to do that with Anastasia Romanov today. It's quite a difficult run, so don't consider this an easy guide. And my test runs have failed so far, but I think I've got the basics of it right now. So what will be the plan? We will go, of course, for the monarchy route, get Anastasia, build up our industry. We will then defend the borders with Germany and the Soviets with relatively light divisions, but with supplements of self-propelled guns. That's tanks with artillery function, giving them some hardness. You see these things pop up in guides from time to time. You need an incredible amount of production for that, but if you do it right, those things can really defend. Now then, depending on how the fronts develop and how much the Allies will eventually take on Germany, we will first take out the Germans and then the Soviets, and we will be a very big Poland indeed. So let's get to that. Production-wise, now this is a difficult calculation, but you need to transition into military factories very soon, so I can pretty much only afford to build 2 civilian factories, which will help me in the long run, and it will be mills after that. We need quite a bit of military production. Focus-wise, we'll assemble the Regency Council and fulfill the 5th of November Act. After that, we will go into the industry branch, all the way over here. Do the 4-year plan, Polish School of Mathematics, fill the railway gaps, agrarian reform, and then possibly even this one, Central Region strategy, with the 100% research bonus for industry. That should line up with dispersed industry free. Production-wise, no planes, sorry. We will need artillery and anti-air. Both are quite important, so put 2 factories on that. Start with some guns and put some factories on it later. And we'll build trains eventually as well. You'll see me shuffle this around a lot. We need to optimize continuously. Here's Friedrich Christian, and we say no. 4-year plan is done, and we'll make a detour to our 4th research slot. The Habsburgs candidate, and we say no. We're coming up on our first 150 political power, and we go for the noble bureaucrat who gives us 15% political power gain and a stability bonus. He's actually a silent workhorse on steroids. School of Mathematics is done. Crown Prince of Romania offers himself, and we say no. The Cossack King. He's worth a video on his own, but we'll skip him for now. And now we'll get the entire cycle of kings again. We will all say no to all of them, and then Anastasia will secretly appear. Things to look out for when your industry is up and running is interwar artillery, because it will allow us to put the close support gun on our medium tanks. Medium tanks, obviously, and everything that goes with it. Central Region strategy is done, and we can have to say goodbye to the Cossack King one more time. We'll refuse the anti-Comintern pact, and we'll go for invest in Eastern Poland because that gives us quite a few extra factories, and we need factories. Why am I not going for the National Defense Fund? I'll do it later when I have more factories, so I get more bang for my buck out of it. Next 100 political power, we'll go for Sosnowski, the army defense expert. Trucks are done, and we'll get the medium tank chassis. We'll also flip some factories to 2 truck factories. Alright, here we go. Anastasia Romanov arrives in Poland. Our king will be the last Romanov, probably. Well, it's known right now, of course, that Anastasia was an imposter, but at this time she wasn't sufficiently debunked yet, so her story might have been true. And the illusion of power is often enough. Power resides where men believe it resides. Invest in Eastern Poland is done, and we'll do invite exiled nobility. Now there's a few focuses here, demand Lithuania and Governorate of Livonia, that will allow you to go after the Baltics. You don't want to go after them too late, because then the Soviets will gobble them up, but you also don't want to go after them too soon. The later you grab Estonia and Latvia, especially, the more guns they will have in stockpile, and we can use those guns for ourselves. Here's another 150 political power, and we'll go to limited conscription. Let's invite the exiled nobility. Can't do demand Lithuania yet, and I want to delay it at least 1 focus. I believe this is the time to get the National Defense Fund. That's the National Defense Fund, and we'll go back to the right side to demand Lithuania. We'll go for Slovakia after that, so we'll improve relations with Czechoslovakia to see if that matters. We're also going over here and sending an attaché to China. That will occasionally cost us political power, but the experience is worth it in my opinion. We are going to build our first tank. These are going to be tanks that are used in infantry divisions to make them mixed divisions. So things like speed are irrelevant, they'll be staying at the same spot most of the time. We'll go for small armaments at first, we'll replace that later, and put in the close support cannon. You can see here that this allows the artillery role. We will then select the artillery role from the drop-down menu and complete our tank with a 2-man turret, sloped armor, and the rest can be filled up with extra ammunition storage. Later on we'll add radios once we have researched them, and if we are feeling confident enough in our production, we can make these 3-man turrets and whatever we want. We're going for welded armor, that's the best bang for your buck, and we'll do the bogey suspension because it is cheaper and these guys don't need speed. 24 experience, lower than 10 production costs per tank. Let's go and start producing these babies with at least 20 factories and hopefully more on the way. Now it'll be constantly juggling to see if you want to put more on these tanks or more on your guns or more on your support equipment. Ideally you want those armies equipped when the Germans come for you, but it's going to be tight. Let's go. Let's demand Lithuania, and we'll demand Slovakia right away. We await the response of Lithuania, and the Commonwealth is reborn. Let's demand Slovakia. I can't believe that worked. I've never seen this fail actually. Now this is more occupied territory that I don't really want right now, but I'm not going to say no to it either. The smart thing to do would be to release them as a puppet, but that option is not available because the Czech Republic exists. Once they are eaten by Germany, we can release Slovakia, and that's actually a very good idea. 220 political power, haven't been paying attention for a few moments. We got Lithuania, so we've got ports, which means we can get off embargoed economy and go to free trade. We'll go for the 5th research slot. Let's rummage around with our templates some more. We inherited this template from the Lithuanians. It has 4 infantry. We'll add it to 5. And this will be our base defense template. 10 width. Let's flip these guys to our defense template. What we're going to do, once these guys are trained up, we'll slowly expand the template. Now this is the defense template and everyone's exercising in these things. Let's duplicate them and we'll make an elite template called SPG defense. SPG stands for self-propelled guns. Later on we'll add these medium SP artillery to these templates, but not just yet. We'll make these elite and give them a different icon, so our guys with that template will fill up as quickly as possible, and we'll give them to the boys on the German border. See if I can get these 3 focuses before I go after Lithuania, Latvia and Estonia. 5th research slots, let's just put it on guns. Getting artillery tech free early is very useful because it will get you medium howitzers and make much better tanks. So I'm getting this one ahead of time. Now with our production of military factories so fast at the moment, it's important to keep a constant eye out for your production tab and add steel imports. Alright, these elite templates are filling up nicely. Time to add some support companies here, engineers and support anti-air. That's what we'll start with anyway. Modernize congressional factories is done, and we'll flip back to the right side here and go for Governorate of Livonia. We have the better artillery and we will also upgrade our engineers. Let's replace the artillery here and let's also go into the SPG here, the basic medium SP artillery. We'll edit it, we'll replace 1 free extra ammunition with a radio, and we'll replace the gun with the medium howitzer. It's also an artillery piece. It is now slightly more expensive, but way much better. More expensive also in terms of resources. Get on that. Alright, the elite templates have been trained. We can see that they are still lacking a lot of equipment. We're working on that, of course. We will make the deficits even bigger. We will add Armored Battalion Medium SP Artillery to the mix. We have regular artillery and we'll add that to the regular division. Infantry battalions, artillery, let's go. Governorate of Livonia is done. And I want to go for Claim Russia, since that gives us 25% stability. I told you it was hidden in there. So we'll need to do Pan-Slavic revanchism and demand Yugoslav subjugation. Both of those won't get us much. I mean, those war goals, we're not going to do anything with it. At least not yet. And Yugoslavia will always refuse. But we gotta do what we gotta do. Let's also declare war on both of them at the same time so we don't run into any guarantees. And my advice would be to micromanage this. It is probably not a good idea to storm in here with no plan. You want to walk around the troops and grab their victory points after all. Anti-air upgrade. Better guns. Let's go. That's Latvia, and we will puppet them. Something I've been trying to do is add war reparations, which will give us more factories. We can use every edge. And that's Estonia. Same thing here, we'll puppet them and try to get some war operations out. Confirm an exit, 2 puppets. Later on we will go for Slavic Union and then all this will become cores. We'll have to annex them later. We right now cannot afford to man these borders as well, so we'll just hope the Russians will evade those. And they will. Alright, let's get our main army, our attack army back over here. We'll put them on the border with the Königsberg pockets. We'll attack from right to left and we'll just put our defensive armies here for the time being to hold the line on the other side. We'll also need to fill up our attack divisions with 7 more divisions, and we'll need a reserve army to guard our ports. So these guys will have to be exercised post haste. We're getting a guarantee from the Brits. That can only mean that we are in trouble. The German Reich has confiscated Czechoslovakia, which means we can release Polish Czechoslovakia. Now that takes care of a big piece of border we don't have to deal with. Do note that Hungary will later be awarded this piece here, or this piece here, Transylvania. Yeah, Transylvania. So they can enter through here. So this has to be guarded. Romania will not be a problem. We have a plan for that. We'll claim Russia. Yeah, alright. Well, despite my speech, this was not supposed to happen. Alright. Releasing them as a puppet is a really bad idea because everyone in it will be justifying on them. So we'll just have to occupy it. Alright. Here we go, Danzig or war. Now usually you would go for let's make a deal, but this time Danzig will remain Gdansk. Italy joins the German Reich. And the game is coded pretty much to make the next step. Here we are. Germany declares war and will go to extensive conscription immediately. We could also already see problems arising here. Wartime is not a good time to be on local police force. We'll go to martial law. The resistance is pretty high everywhere. Now let's let the Germans attack us for a moment. Doesn't matter if we lose a few tiles. We should be able to hold. Keep an eye on the trade tab. Sweden might dive a little, but we should be alright. The Allies are inviting us, but I'm not going to do that. We also almost got our SPG deficit done. And we are nicely holding here, which means we can now attack here. Let's go, boys. And let's claim Russia. We can demand Pomerania. Almost never works. But just for the memes, let's see what happens when we do this. I already said that Yugoslavia wasn't going to work. Don't think I gave my attack division anti-air. Let's correct that. How is my anti-air? It's fine. Everything seems to be fine. This is very nice. This is exactly what I'm looking for, of course, encirclements. Let's kill these troops off before they are free. Well, this looks brilliant. Those Italians are not fighting me. They haven't called Italy into the war yet. That gives me a free Königsberg. Thank you. That means all of these guys are now without a port. And it may take a while, but I will get them. Germany refuses to cede territory. Well, that was not a surprise. Let's now go towards prepare for the next war and get some focuses done there. Also, for purposes of getting a bear later on, we'll justify a war goal on Iran. Sikorsky gets Logistic Wizard, of course. This one gets Ambusher. Barely took a look here, but yeah, these guys are fine. My trade tab is looking worse every day. It's time to go to limited exports, I guess. But all these Germans are gone now. Now these defensive templates are running back to the Soviet line. They'll be needed there soon enough. Let's have a look at casualties. We are not a major, so oh wait, we are. 118k, 760. Good thing that we're a major. We'll finish that one, and then we'll go for the faction with Romania. So we'll improve relations there. This offensive template will now try to eat a part of this German line. We'll just use these guys wherever we can to make kills. I have 9 defensive guys here. We'll give them to this guy here. Put them on garrison orders and guard the ports here, because the Germans haven't invaded me yet, but the Soviets almost definitely will. Don't forget Danzig. Never forget Danzig. Alright, so we have a field marshal. Let's give it to them, and we have these guys here, and let's guard that one. In one of my test runs, this actually became a problem. Prepare for the next war is done, and we'll now get ourselves a faction between the seas concept that will get Romania on our side. There's a bit of a time limit on there. You don't want to wait until they're in the Axis. Might even get the Hungarians in, so let's improve relations there. See if we're fast enough. Not very likely though. Let's also have a look at our infantry equipment. We have more than enough manpower. Let's see if we can expand this template with 1 infantry. We have the equipment, so let's do that. This is actually very funny. I said something about not puppeting Yugoslavia because of potential problems. Well, after that I completely forgot about those guys. Sorry, I guess. Project Czechoslovakia and Yugoslavia bypassed Mediterranean. What does Romania say? Go for Austria-Hungarian alliance. I want the Hungarians on my side. And the Romanians are in my faction. I can't call them in, but I'm not doing that. I just will force the Germans to put troops in their border. That's good enough for me. Austria-Hungarian alliance is done. And they joined. Excellent work. And that's the Hamburg-Kiel pocket. Well, I wouldn't say we have the Germans on their knees, but we're doing all right. The Finno-Polish Pact. I'm gonna go for Turkey, but not quite yet. Let's do Military Academy. Here come the Soviets. Yeah, they're coming for me. Let's double check. These guys all have the advanced template. We're pretty much equipped. Will still be a hard battle here, but we can win it. And we need to hold these ports. But I can take back the assault army. Bulgaria joins the Axis. Well, that's not a problem. First spy incoming. Let's become spy master for the third. France still holding. I'll try and encircle Berlin. Lots of protection here. There goes Finland. And we'll join their war. And that will get the Soviets to lose some stuff on my border. Good luck. The Polish juggernaut cannot be stopped. I mean, I'm not Polish, but if I were, I would really get a kick out of getting that message every time I played this game. I of course conquered the Berlin as the Dutch once, but there was sadly no event for that. Alright, we have a surplus of 1000 SPG, so I'm just going to tone that down a little. Trucks, well, we'll need more, still more. And put the rest on the new tank we're going to make here. Medium cannon, 3-man turrets, basic radio, heavy machine gun, sloped armor, and extra ammunition storage until we get stabilizers. Increase suspension, well, need armor, diesel engine is fine, and just get it a bit more speed so it can actually do some damage. This will be our medium tanks that will really blitz through things. It's a lot of divisions here. 4.5 million inflicted on the Allies. Axis. By far the most by me. Is this still my puppet? Oh yeah. Conquering a big juicy puppet here. Because they're all Czechoslovak cores. And that's Germany. Because I just finished a collaboration government. Gotta get a move on Italy. Making good progress into Italy as well. Now I know what you're thinking, if you're going for the bear, you need Italy alive. But I also need to win the war. There goes Benito. And that's the Axis. Let's make this a nice peace deal. That's actually pretty clean. Bulgaria as a puppet. Some stuff got released here, even though I used to own it, but it doesn't matter. I've got this stuff here. I've got, of course, the Italian puppets. War sports down the drain, but I'll fix that. We need to take care of the Soviets, and it really should be a pushover by now. My stockpiles are brimming with stuff. No longer have any resource problems, and I have more factories than I know what to do with, so let's just steamroll it. Oh, I like this one. Minsk encircled. There goes Leningrad. Rearrange the front lines a little, and it looks like I will be able to battle plan the rest. That's Stalingrad. Can we now take the focus? Yes, proclaim Slavic unity. And that gives us 181 core states. Would be nice if I got it before capitulating the Soviets. And here is proclaim Slavic unity. Here we are now, the Slavic Union. Oh, this piece of white was Finland. Okay, that's fine. Time to end this. Let's capture Moscow. I managed to take everything, including the Russian fleet. And we have a beautiful Slavic Union. We got most of Iran as well. Now for the requirements to get the bear, you need to be at war with Italy. So I can actually release them and declare war on them, but it would take too much time, really. The purpose of this video was to ask Poland stand up to both Germany and the Soviets. Well, I can safely say I pretty much did that. I'm leaving it at this. Poland has prevailed against Germany, Italy, and the Soviet Union, gobbled up some other territories along the way, and we didn't cede a single territory. We have quite a few cores. This game can still continue with me joining up against the Japanese, well, it's almost done there anyway. I can try to get the bear by... I have Hamadan, but I need to be at war with Italy and have some troops in there so I can release Italy and then go for the bear. It's too much trouble for this video, to be honest. It's long enough as it is. If you enjoyed this video, please take a moment to leave a like. It really helps out the channel to be recommended to other viewers. Until then, see you next time. Bye bye.